Hello guys, here's Louie again with a little update here on the 68 Firebird. So, if you guys watched the last video, it was an honor to have Jonathan from Vinyl Village Garage over here. And we hanged out for 3 days doing nothing more but just playing cars. Two big kids playing cars. And boy, did we had a blast. And believe me, I never could believe how 3 days could go flying by so fast. I miss him. I wish we was neighbors. We'd be wrenching all day, every day. But like he said, it's not bye. He'll see me again and I'll see him again. Now, the next step moving forward to my 68 Firebird is basically body work. Okay, because rust repairs, they are done. This whole car is pretty much rust, rot free. Now, whatever you guys see in the car, on the car that looks like rust, well, that's surface rust. It's not rot like you have to cut it out and replace it with a brand new sheet of metal. So what I'm gonna have to do is get all the old paint off the car, prime the car, and from there move forward to start getting this car ready for final body work, which will be coating up with primer and black sanding it. The next step will be paint, but I have some things to fix. So when I bought this car, somebody hit it pretty hard here, and these Firebirds 67 and 68 have this body line. If you could see, you could follow this door here. There's a body line here. I sanded it down and you can see pure steel. That's a body line. I marked it here with a black marker. And if you guys are going to use anything like a permanent marker, but you know you have old paint and you're going to sand it off, it's okay to use. If not, don't use it. You can use tape. So here I'm missing the body line. From this line to this line, I am missing the body line. Okay, here the body lines appears again, even though you guys can see I'll probably sand a little bit more. But right here I'm gonna have to sand. Then my plans are to get this piece of sheet metal here and weld it where I see the line. So I know I'm missing about that much of a body line sticking out. I measured this sheet metal, I cut it, it's perfect. I tack weld it and I'll pull it out. Let's see how that works. Alright guys, so I've been working on this quarter panel, which is the driver's side. Over here was wrinkled. Okay, and for me to knock out this corner, what I did was I used this body hammer. You see the shape to that. I opened the deck lid, went behind and knocked it out. It will never become perfect again, but the more you try to knock it out to the best of your ability, is the less filler you need to use. Very happy how this quarter panel is looking. Okay, I have a body line again there. I'm really happy about that body line. Now, on the other side, I have to do the same what I had to do to this side, which they did a lap weld. I came and I sand all the filler out. I filled it up with weld. And if you see this quarter panel, she has very little. This is a refrigerator magnet. Okay, she has very little filler, but she sticks everywhere. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So this is the passenger side quarter panel, which that's what I'm up to. Now, this is the lap weld I'm talking about that they did to this quarter panel. This is an original quarter panel. Both of them are. It looks like in its early life, this car got hit from the back and these quarter panels wrinkles because the rear frame rails of this car was also like buckle. Okay, and the floor was gone, like you guys have seen if you follow me. So as you dissect these cars, you get to kind of know the life that they've been through already. I hate lap welds because when you do this lap welding here, that's a brace here, old school welding, you have to fill so much with filler. So the filler is pretty thick here, okay? If you see, as I go down, she's not solid. She's like sliding down on me, okay? See? She won't even grab there. She just falls, okay? There, of course, because you guys can see the steel still there. But right here is so thick, as you guys can see that. She sticks on the top, but once you slide her down, she falls right down. She should just grab. She don't. So let's see if I could fix that quarter panel. Like I said, I will fill it up with weld, grind it smooth for it could fill in and match this quarter panel. And let's see if I could do the same thing like I did to that side, that I ain't have to use so much filler and the magnet will stick. So you're gonna keep using your bottle opener to take on your stainless, okay? Like I explained before, if it fights you, just keep moving to another side. Comes out pretty easy. Not that much of a fight. Okay, that's the corner piece. Okay, this goes over this stainless and the one here for the A-pillar. Just keep on. And that's the way Louis removes his stainless from his first gen Firebirds. Yes, guys, like I explained before, so I use a regular bottle opener, okay? I hope you guys could see that. Give me a break. It's the first time that I kind of use the tripod and all that stuff. Alright, so you just sneak behind into that groove of the stainless and you lift her up. Keep working her. If she fights you, just keep working it. I never dent my stainless using this method here with the bottle opener. Now you see how I worked my way from the top to the bottom? Now she's loose. There you go. Easy peasy. Beautiful. See that? Nice out without being damaged. Alright guys, so what I did here on that original repair that somebody did, which was a lap weld, which I don't like to do panels overlapping each other. I like to do a butt weld. Okay, when two panels can meet like this and you butt weld it, you come down, you spot weld until she's all filled in with weld. Believe me, even if you have a little bit of warpage, you could still get away by using a little filler. But when you overlap your panels, that big gap, now you got to try to match this with this. The thickness is totally different. You're going to be slapping a lot of filler there. And with time, it will crack on you. And that's exactly what happened to the 68 Firebird. Whoever did this lap weld, they had to fill so much filler here to match over here so it could blend in. So what I did was, as I explained earlier, I filled it in with weld. She's much more flatter, more compared, you know, she's almost has the same height as this panel over here, the upper sail panel. So now what I'm gonna do is grind down my welds where I just filled it in, grind it down, and when I finish that, I'll start putting in my filler. Instead of coming all the way up with filler, probably gonna be like up to there with filler, and it's gonna be so thin that a refrigerator magnet should stick. All right, guys. So I did what I said I was going to do. I filled it in with some welds. I welded straight across. That's the right way, not spot welds and leave gaps without being welded. And then on top of all that, they also overlap this panel and did a lap weld, which I said earlier I don't like. The way I did it was I grind from here down. Use my grinder, grind some of the metal, like I use my grinder like to an angle and grind it down where it could be as level as with this upper sail panel. Then I just use my welder and I spot it. You have to jump. So you do 1, 2, 3 little tacks if you want. 3 or 1. I do 3. I go to about here, do 3. About here, go 3, and I keep moving as I feel with my hand the panel. Where it's cool, I weld. If it's too hot, get out of there. You get metal distortion. You get burn throughs. You make your life a living hell. That's when you start getting stressed. You're getting stressed on your project. And instead of being on your project working, you end up walking away because now you're stressed. So just do your spot welds and start moving. You could use your compressor and blow some air, or just let it cool down. Get back to it. Now I'm gonna share the filler that I like to use, which is a short hair reinforcement filler. And this is the brand I use, U-Pull. The reason I use this is because in the past, when I was just learning all this kind of stuff, I used Bondo, the green Bondo, the one that is also short hair fiberglass, short strand hair fiberglass. And let me tell you something, when that one dries, it dries like a brick. It's very hard to sand. This sands like butter. I'm telling you, you're not gonna regret it. It's not cheap. This goes like about $80 or something like that. I got it for an excellent price. In Carlisle, Winter Carlisle here in Pennsylvania, they do an event indoors, and there's a whole bunch of guys selling you sanding papers, body filler, a lot of tools, different stuff like that. So anyway, that's where I bought it. You're not gonna regret it. Pick this up. Sometimes in the hobby, you do have to spend that extra money, a little bit more money, to make your life a little easier. That's why where you could save, you save. In the long run, where you have to spend, you're gonna spend. But let me tell you something. This is a gallon. Says it right there. US gallon. Okay? This should last you a project and then some. Because you're not trying to mold the car with filler. You're not trying to mold the car. This is steel. You want to keep it steel. This is just to fill in where you weld, and after you grind your welds down, you use a little bit of this, sand it down, then you use your regular filler, sand that down until your panel comes out nice. All right, guys. So here in the quarter panel, upper sail panel area that I was showing you guys before, that it was improperly repaired. I did not like it. Once again, it's a lap weld, and I don't like that. I'd rather do butt welds. So if you guys can remember, I show you guys that this is a great tool. This is a refrigerator magnet, okay? And it's a great tool, especially when you're gonna go hunt for a classic car. Because being a classic car, God only knows 40, 50, 60 years, depending the year, all the work that been done to it throughout the years, the filler work and all this kind of work, that some people really did not have the knowledge of doing it the right way. So they did it to the best of their ability, let's say, to keep driving the car, enjoying the car. But the truth of the matter of fact is that try to do it the best way now, especially with YouTube out there, with guys like me and other guys out there helping you build and restore these cars. You guys have the most important tool out there, which is the internet, for help. When I started this, there was no information out there, no Google, no, not even I think Google was around. But once again, this is a refrigerator magnet. Did not stick before. Now look, I'm not gonna put it here because you guys can see this is all metal. All right. But I welded this so flat, instead of the lap weld, instead of it was lap weld. Okay, I grind it down as flat as I could have made it, and I filled in the seam. I filled in the seam that was left here with weld. I welded it, of course. Then I grind that down. So my filler was so little that I had to put here that she's gonna stick. She's sticking all over. Okay, all over this magnet sticks. And that's the proper way when you're using body filler. Don't be scared to use it. It's a tool. It was made to be used. I don't care who does metal work. They use body filler to get it straight. Okay? Case closed. Now, how thick? Not supposed to be so thick. So that's your answer right there. Refrigerator magnet. And you can find out how solid is the car or how filled is the car with body filler. Now, my next goal for the car is to finish all of the quarter panel. And as you guys can see, the quarter panel is coming out really nice. Okay, I basically just have to block sand that one more time, and I plan to just go ahead with the primer. All right, I have to sand this surface rust down. Of course, this deck lid is not going to be primed with the car because I still have repair work to do to it, but everything else will. I still have this corner here to sand down, but as you guys can see, she's coming out to be really nice looking car, and a solid car at that, which is not so easy to find anymore. So we have to do this kind of work to them to make them okay. So I'm gonna also explain to you guys, I'm sorry I didn't explain to you guys from the beginning, but when I put on my filler, I like to put it pretty heavy. Not so heavy, pretty heavy. Why? I'll tell you why. Because when I'm block sanding my filler, as I'm block sanding the filler, I have enough material to block sand. This is a Dura block. I love them. I have all different type of sizes and shape. I also have a old school, very old, God only knows how old is this block to sand. Is an old school rubber block, which I bought on eBay some years back. And it was already used, still doing the job. But the reason I like to apply a lot of filler is because it gives me the material to actually sand down, feel. When it comes to body work, this becomes your eyes, your hands, okay? And you can feel and keep on until you feel it straight and you see it as straight as possible. Also, when you spray your primer and you sand that, you can also see the high and the lows. And of course, if you have a low, you have to fill it up. If you have a high, you gotta sand it. Once metal starts showing, so if metal was showing somewhere here when I was sanding, I have to stop because you can't sand down metal. You could grind down metal, but you can't sand down metal. That means stop. Okay, could be a high spot showing. Stop, come back to it, continue sanding. When there's a lot of filler, I start with 40 grit. Okay, this is a 40 grit paper. From 40, I moved to 80. This is 80. 80 grit sandpaper. Sticky back. That's the kind I like, the sticky back. Okay. Now, 80. I do all my 80. Believe it or not. Sometimes I'll stop right there, shoot the primer, and then black sand. And believe it or not, sometimes I even use 82 black sand, and then I'll go finer as a 120, then maybe a 180, and I leave it at 180 until the end. When it comes to black sand, the whole entire primer on the car, because now you're getting close to paint, I go 220 to 320, and I stop at 320. I don't go 400. I stop at 320. I believe and I feel and I know because of experience that that's a fine grit that gives you enough tooth for when you shoot your paint, it has something to stick to. So that's the way Louis does it on body filler, on body panels, and body work. That's the way I do it, and you know my car is pretty straight. They come out pretty straight. So guys, here's Louis saying bye for a little bit until I get this car primed. I have some little things to do on both of the doors. Get my fenders also over here. As you can see, the fenders are still in that green color. That's a rust repair I did on the lower fender there. Once I have all that old paint sanded down, is when I continue my little body work. Again, feel on my hands. I'm feeling, so I'm like your hands are like your eyes. So I'm feeling for any little dings or dents. Fix that. Prime the car. The car will stay with primer for the rest of this year until the spring of next year, God willing. And when it's warm enough outside is when I will paint this car. This car is going to be a beautiful combination when it comes to being painted, and the interior is going to look awesome. I do not want to share with you guys the color yet, but once I get my dash, once I get that dash in there, sand down, prime, block sand, and paint, is when you guys are going to see the color that this car will have for the interior. And I might shoot a final primer on the color that the car will be. I just might do that. I'm thinking about that. If you guys would like to know early what kind of color is going to be, let me know. I just might buy the primer in the color that the car will be uniformed. All right, guys, thank you. I want to give a special thanks to all my new subscribers out there. A whole big thanks to Jonathan, Brian from Arrowhead Garage, and Jonathan, the Firebird Doctor at Vinyl Village Garage. Those guys have helped me so much. Trying to film my videos better, trying to explain myself better. It's a little hard for me to explain or talk the right way, if you will, because I'm not used to doing this. I'm just used to doing the job and getting it done, and that's it. But since I started YouTube, believe it or not, I started YouTube at least 5, 6, or even 7 years ago. My goal was, and still is, to show the people out there that you're capable of restoring your car right at home and with simple tools without breaking the bank. Okay, keep tuned. More videos are coming. I hope I'm inspiring you guys out there to get your hands dirty. Take care. So long. Bye-bye.